Hello guys and welcome back to the F1 Tube YouTube channel, and in today's video I will be breaking down what in my opinion were the top 5 best races of the 2019 Formula 1 season. Now of course guys, this is my opinion and you are entitled to yours, so please feel free to pop your top 5 best races of the 2019 F1 season down in the comments section below. But let's kick off this list, and at number 5 I have the Bahrain Grand Prix. Above all, I feel that this Grand Prix and weekend will be remembered for Charles Leclerc asserting his authority at a top tier team. However, the wheel-to-wheel combat in this Grand Prix was absolutely brilliant. You had Charles Leclerc fighting for the lead after losing it from pole at the start, and then after passing Valtteri Bottas and Sebastian Vettel in brilliant fashion, he was utterly dominating the race. You also have Lewis Hamilton and Sebastian Vettel going wheel-to-wheel for second place for about 2/3 of that Grand Prix. You know, on multiple occasions the two drivers were swapping positions and were always on the attack, until Hamilton successfully passed Vettel, with the German losing the rear, spinning around and losing the battle for second. And of course Vettel finished 5th behind Verstappen. But of course heartbreak hit Charles Leclerc. Engine troubles deprived him of his first win as he relinquished the lead to Hamilton and then second to Bottas. However, the Ferrari driver of course did come home for his maiden podium in Formula 1, but it should have been his first win. Everybody can accept that. Like I said, in terms of wheel-to-wheel combat, Bahrain delivered, as to be fair it usually does. But we cannot shake off the emotional elements of this Grand Prix. At number 4 on my list I have the Austrian Grand Prix. This was a race in which Max Verstappen startled the F1 world with a pulsating drive. As we all know, the Dutchman suffered a dreadful start and dropped all the way down to P7, but he responded brilliantly, and by about lap 50 he was well in the hunt for a podium. He passed Sebastian Vettel for P3, Valtteri Bottas for P2, and then we got such an intense finale between the two young hot prospects of Formula 1 for the Austrian Grand Prix victory. Max hunted down the Monegasque driver, and despite a failed attempt on lap 68 where Leclerc somehow hung it round the outside of turn 3, Verstappen was having none of it on the next lap, barging his way into the lead. Max went on to take a brilliant win with a fulminating drive, much to Leclerc's disgust with that final overtake. However, it was such an absorbing battle, and hopefully this foreshadows what will be a relentless rivalry for the future. And it was just brilliant, wasn't it, seeing the two young guns going for the win. It was such an absorbing, intriguing, fascinating and exciting battle, and I enjoyed every single second of it. Max was piling on the pressure lap after lap after lap, and we got a thrilling finale. There was also an interesting battle for the final podium place between Valtteri Bottas, Sebastian Vettel and Lewis Hamilton. Bottas came home P3 with Vettel P4 and Hamilton P5, despite Vettel's late charge. I can also remember McLaren and Alfa Romeo being locked in an intriguing battle to be best of the rest. Norris was P6 with Sainz going from the back of the grid to P8, and then the two Alphas 9th and 10th. And I can also remember Raikkonen and Norris being involved in a decent battle early on, so plenty of side-by-side action in this Grand Prix as well. At number 3 I have the British Grand Prix, and if Austria was full of side-by-side action, then Silverstone was just an upgraded version on that, and the gloves were well and truly off. Early on the two Silver Arrows were fighting for the lead. Bottas started from pole and held the lead after the first lap, but on lap 4 Hamilton was chasing him down. The Brit got past at Luffield, but Bottas brilliantly retook the lead going into Copse Corner. Bottas pitted first, but when the safety car came out due to Antonio Giovinazzi spinning, Hamilton pitted under the safety car and took the lead from Bottas. Hamilton committed to a one-stop strategy versus Bottas's 2, and from there on in, Hamilton dominated proceedings to take his 6th home win. However, the real battle came between Charles Leclerc and Max Verstappen, one race on since their Austria tangle for the win. And lap after lap, corner after corner, Verstappen in his faster Red Bull was looking for a way past, but Leclerc was having absolutely none of it, producing some spectacular, and I mean spectacular, wheel-to-wheel action. My eyes were honestly glued on this battle lap after lap because, oh my god, it was breathtaking. At the first round of stops, Red Bull got Verstappen ahead of Leclerc, but Leclerc fought back brilliantly to get himself ahead, but when the safety car came out, Verstappen jumped Leclerc again. But near the safety car restart, about a lap after the safety car restart, Leclerc and Verstappen went side by side through club corner, for heaven's sake. This was utterly sensational. Verstappen just about stayed ahead and pretty much stayed there for the next 10-15 laps. Later on in the race, Leclerc pulled off a mega move on Pierre Gasly round the outside of the loop section. Then Verstappen passed Vettel for third, however Vettel fought him back, but the two crashed into each other, Vettel into the back of Verstappen. Vettel dropped out of the points, and this collision cost Verstappen a podium place, with Leclerc promoted up to third. Quite honestly, what an epic race. The side-by-side action was unfathomably excellent. Missing out on first place, I have the German Grand Prix. It was a race where every single driver made at least one error, and it was a race where every single corner you turned, after every single lap, someone would be off the track, but it was about who made the least amount of mistakes and who controlled the changeable conditions the most. We had drivers all over the place conjuring up unpredictability. For example, Sergio Perez crashed out early on, Charles Leclerc crashed out of the race, Lewis Hamilton crashed into the wall but he was able to keep on going, Nico Hülkenberg ended his race from 4th place after crashing out agonisingly, and Valtteri Bottas crashed out at turn 1 late on. In the torrential conditions, Lewis Hamilton had dominated the race from pole, but when the track dried out, Hamilton was struggling quite a bit as his second half of the race was bombarded by errors. Max Verstappen kept his cool to take his second win of 2019. Sebastian Vettel at home went from 20th to 2nd, and Daniil Kvyat took Toro Rosso's second ever podium in brilliant fashion. Lance Stroll for most of the race was last, but he was leading the race after gambling on dry tyres late on, but he could only finish 4th. Well, when I say only, it was a brilliant result for Racing Points. The unpredictability in this Grand Prix is something that we will remember. Here we go then, in my opinion, the best race of the 2019 F1 season, the Brazilian Grand Prix. Early on, it was a battle between Lewis Hamilton and Max Verstappen and Sebastian Vettel for the lead. Mercedes undercut Red Bull and Hamilton emerged ahead of Verstappen after the first round of pit stops. However, on his outlap, Verstappen retook a place on Hamilton, much to Hamilton's frustration. Sebastian Vettel was running an alternative strategy, however, he really did not have enough pace to trouble these two, but this battle alone was just brilliant, seeing Verstappen and Hamilton going toe to toe. This is what F1 fans want to see, arguably two of the finest drivers in the sport going wheel to wheel. Absolutely brilliant. With approximately 20 laps to go, Valtteri Bottas's Mercedes broke down, and this brought out the safety car. Mercedes chose not to pit Lewis Hamilton as Red Bull pitted Max Verstappen, but at the restart, Verstappen went round the outside of Hamilton at turn 1 with a brilliant move, but Alex Albon pulled off an even better move round the outside of Sebastian Vettel for P3. Shortly after, whilst battling for P4, the two Ferrari drivers came to blows. Both drivers and both cars sustained damage and both were out of the race. This brought out the safety car and Mercedes opted to pit Lewis Hamilton. This dropped the Brit to 4th behind Alex Albon and Toro Rosso's Pierre Gasly. Hamilton got past Gasly at the safety car restart, but on the penultimate lap, Hamilton dived down the inside of Albon and the Thai driver was sent spinning. Hamilton carried on and Gasly was promoted up to 2nd. And Gasly held on to P2 at the checkered flag in a wheel-to-wheel finish with Hamilton. However, after the race, Hamilton received a 5-second time penalty for his collision with Albon, dropping him to 7th, promoting Carlos Sainz up to 3rd to take his maiden podium in Formula 1 after starting the Grand Prix from last place. The madness just doesn't stop. Out in front, Max Verstappen took the win with Pierre Gasly in 2nd for Toro Rosso. It was a Honda 1-2, and more importantly in my opinion, Gasly's first podium after an eventful 2019. If you put together the drama and the pure racing of this Grand Prix, this makes it the best race of the year in my opinion. The drama wasn't as dramatic as Germany and the racing wasn't as good as Silverstone, but if you put it together, I think it was the most complete race of 2019. Especially those last 15 laps, I mean they were just bonkers! But guys, that is it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. Please like this video, comment down below what you thought of this video, and tell me what are your top 5 best races of 2019. Do you agree? Do you disagree with me? Please let me know. And please send in questions for my upcoming Q&A. That will be heavily appreciated. And above all guys, please subscribe to the F1 Tube YouTube channel if you haven't already. But until next time guys, see you later.